So far, we have seen that Siya was persuading Manav to let her stay in the hostel, and her words were so compelling that Manav agreed. During this time, both had come very close to each other and had lost themselves in one another, which made their bond even closer. Just as something romantic was about to happen, Manav's assistant Rajat came and ruined everything. Siya comes to her senses and quickly runs out of the study room. Meanwhile, Manav first gets lost in thought. And when he sees Dhruv in front of him, he starts glaring at him with deadly eyes. On the other hand, Jia runs to her room, closes the door, and leans against it. She starts taking deep breaths. As she was breathing, the events that had just occurred kept replaying in her mind like a film. But while thinking about it, she didn't even realize when her hand went to her lips. She still felt a different warmth and tingling on her lips and tongue. She sits up straight and then lies down on her stomach. Burying her face in the pillow, she tries to divert her mind from thinking about it. Meanwhile, in the study room, Manav was glaring at Dhruv, who stood in front of him with anger and deadly eyes. The same group was looking at him with pitiful expressions. That poor guy had no idea what he had done to deserve the gaze of this walking, killing machine. Then, suddenly he heard Manav's harsh voice speaking to him. "Dhruv, if you don't tell me the validation for being here right now, you can't even imagine what I will do to you." Hearing this, Dhruv trembles inside. He starts sweating, and fear begins to show in his eyes. But after a while, he controls his emotions and says while looking at Manav, "I'm sorry, boss, for coming here without informing you. But it was something important, and this couldn't be discussed over the phone." After hearing this, Manav stares at him without saying anything. "So," Dhruv continues, "boss, the details of the presentation and project we prepared for the upcoming biggest project in India have reached our opponent company, and they have prepared a presentation just like ours. They have just changed a few names and numbers. Also, one more thing. Ram Rao and Akanksha ma'am, who were in that hospital, are trying to gather information about that hospital. They are also trying to find out things related to the other lady. So far, they haven't found out much because of our people, but they are still trying continuously." Hearing this, Manav starts rubbing his neck. This action was making it difficult for Dhruv to breathe because whenever Manav got angry, he did this to control his rage. Then he opens his eyes, which had turned red by now. There were no emotions on his face, but the atmosphere around him had become very cold and dangerous. And in that dangerous situation, Manav's voice echoed throughout the study room. He said, "You don't need to worry about the Rao family. Just keep an eye on them calmly, but you only have one day. Tomorrow, whoever is behind leaking the project information, I want him in my office meeting room. If that doesn't happen, then take the news for yourself about that man, because in that news, I will bury you alive." Hearing this, Dhruv quickly nods his head. He just wanted to say this much, and then leaves. As he leaves, Manav, in anger, kicks the tea table hard and stands up, heading towards Vimla. Taking a cigarette out of his pocket, he was about to take it to his photo when he noticed his fingers, which had just been on Siya's lips a while ago. Manav looks at his fingers and then starts gazing at the moon. Looking at the moon, he says, "You are driving me crazy, darling, forcing me to succumb. If that happens, it will be very bad. I don't want to hurt you right now. But if things continue like this, I don't know how long I can control myself. So stay away from me." After looking at the moon for a while, he takes out his phone and makes a call. After 2 rings, the call is picked up, and a man's voice comes from the other side saying, "Yes, boss." Manav, still looking at the moon, says, "Rakha, I need 2 female bodyguards who are young. Send them as Sia's personal bodyguards to Bangalore University, where your madam is. Your madam is coming to stay in the hostel there in a few days, so do whatever it takes to keep those girls with madam in the hostel and tell them to secretly protect her. Saying this, without waiting for Raka's response, Manav cuts the call. After staring at the moon for a long time, he goes straight to his room. It was getting late at night, but during this time, Siya had not come out of her room. She didn't want to face Manav. She was feeling very strange and was too embarrassed to go in front of him. Therefore, she had ordered her lunch and snacks to be brought upstairs. Manav also said nothing. During this time, he was busy with some business matters and attending video conferences one after another. So, he hadn't eaten anything since breakfast in the morning. Finally, when he comes down for dinner and doesn't see Siya there, he asks Neelaji to call Siya down and waits for her. Neelaji quickly goes to Siya's room, where Siya was sitting on the bed using her mobile. Seeing her, Leela says, "Siya, come on, put your mobile down. It's time for dinner. Sir has been waiting for you for a while." When Siya hears that Manav is waiting for her, she starts to feel anxious and makes excuses not to go down. She says she is not hungry and will just have milk, which she will drink when she is asleep, while Manav can have his dinner. Leela Ji tries to convince her, but she doesn't agree. So, finally, Leela comes down and informs Manav. Manav says nothing. His eyes slightly redden, and his expressions become a bit dangerous. He calmly has his dinner and then leaves. Ilayachi was standing there and noticed that today Manav had eaten very little, or rather had hardly eaten anything at all.